Welcome to the recap of Murder Mystery. Nick Spitz is a New York police officer and his wife Aubrey is a hairdresser. Aubrey wants to visit Europe as Nick had promised at the wedding, but thinks they never will. After the 15th anniversary dinner, Aubrey confronts Nick, who lies that he has in fact booked the trip, and they set off to Europe. On the plane, Aubrey meets billionaire Charles Cavendish, who invites the couple to join him on his family yacht for a party celebrating his elderly uncle's upcoming wedding to Charles's former fiancée. After seeing how crowded and unpleasant sounding their previously planned bus tour would be, Nick agrees. Aboard the yacht, Nick and Aubrey meet Cavendish's ex-fiancée Susie Nakamura, his cousin Quincy's son Toby, actress Grace Ballard, Colonel Yulenga, his bodyguard Sergei, Maharaja Vikram, car race driver Juan Carlos, and later that night, their host Malcolm Quince, Cavendish's uncle, arrives. Quince announces that his new wife Susie will be the only one to receive his inheritance, believing that others only feel interest in him because of his money. Before he can sign his new will, the lights go out and come back on to reveal Quince dead, stabbed with a ceremonial dagger. Nick, who has lied to Aubrey about recently becoming an NYPD detective, orders the room. Nick, who lied to Aubrey about recently becoming an NYPD detective, orders the room locked, and the guests return to their rooms. Later that night, the guests find Toby dead from an apparent suicide. Upon arriving in Monte Carlo, the guests are questioned by Inspector Delacroix, who believes that Nick and Aubrey, the Americans, are guilty of the murder. At the Monaco Grand Prix, Nick and Aubrey question the guests. That night, Sergei summons them to his room, where he reveals Quince had married the Colonel's fiancée while the Colonel was in a coma after saving Quince's life, which ended with her death and a child who was allegedly stillborn. The couple hide when someone knocks on the door and comes out to find Sergei has been shot. Aubrey is furious to learn from the broadcast Nick is not actually a detective, and from his confession that he lied about booking the trip in advance, she leaves with Cavendish. All of them move to Lake of Como, where Uncle Quince had a luxury villa. There, Nick finds Susie moving suspiciously on the street. Nick follows Susie to a library where he finds Aubrey, who reveals Cavendish is in the building as well. They realize Cavendish and Susie are still in love, and they presumably are the murderers planning to split the inheritance. The couple are forced to flee from a hidden gunman and run into Carlos. Nick and Aubrey go to Quince's mansion to confront Cavendish, but find him dead by poisoning. The couple summons Delacroix and the remaining guests, the Colonel, Grace, Maharaja, and Carlos, who all have alibi. Nick and Aubrey deduce that Grace is the murderer. Grace reveals that she is Quince's child that died and that his money truly belongs to her, though she denies being the killer. While celebrating, Nick and Aubrey learn that Grace's alibi still stands, and there must be another conspirator who could have killed Sergei. They realize Carlos is the second murderer, who blamed Quince for an accident his father had where he had lost both of his legs. Carlos holds Delacroix hostage and leads Nick and Aubrey in a car chase, but they force his car to crash and rescue Delacroix. Carlos holds them all at gunpoint but is killed by the chaotic tour bus, which Nick and Aubrey would have initially boarded at the start of their trip. Delacroix thanks the couple and offers to help Nick get promoted to detective back home. The movie ends with Nick and Aubrey continuing the vacation aboard the fabled Orient Express courtesy of Interpol. Thank you for watching the recap, and if you liked it, then please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.